Some people are going to say they won the SWC championship, but there's no trophy for that, and I'll be honest with you, nobody cares. We've had plenty of teams that have made it all the way to the state finals. We've had an opportunity where some teams make it to the Final Four, and they may have won 1 or 2 games in 7th grade. What matters the most is the relationships you're going to build within this circle and in this group, and the culture that you'll bring to the high school. We've got our captains here, and I'm going to let them talk to you in a second, but what makes our program special and unique is they've played football together since they were little kids, since they were in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. You understand? And as a result of that, they're going to go out and they're going to play with their guts out with relentless effort for each other. And that's what it's all about. So start building those relationships. It's a mutual respect. You don't have to be best friends, but if you're a guy that's not a good teammate, you don't treat your teammates well, or you think it's all about you, this program will spit you out because those guys don't belong here and will never make it in this program. So I'm going to let these guys give you one piece of advice to their 7th grade self. You did this with the 8th graders last week, and then they're going to go ahead and go try to obviously get in the locker room and get prepared to win a playoff game. Their last home game, so it's a big deal for our seniors tonight, especially these guys. Anybody want to start or just go straight down the line? This is Anthony Drenick.
My piece of advice for you guys is just take it all in. Just remember these moments, because like as Coach was saying, it goes by quick. Like this is our last home game as seniors. Play on this field, play with each other, and it's just don't take it for granted because those moments fly by like the snap of a finger, and it'll be over before you know it. And you'll be playing college ball, or you won't be playing college ball. It'll be over before you know it. So just take advantage of these moments.
Give them a round of applause. By the way, Anthony Drenick, as they go, you can go when you're done. You can stay and hear what I say about you if you want. But Anthony's unique story that he was a quarterback all the way through our program when he was young, and now he's a starting defensive lineman for us and plays on the D line. So he's an unselfish kid who decided to put on some weight, and he's committed to the weight room and helping his team in a different way that he probably envisioned when he was in 6th, 7th grade. So again, his unselfishness is pretty awesome. Next up.
So my piece of advice is more so directed to like the offensive and defensive linemen in the group, the big guys. So I know your role on the 7th grade football team. You're probably not scoring touchdowns. You're not getting the high fives from your classmates, stuff like that. But trust me, your role gets better. It gets more important. Embrace your role, and eventually the skill guys will realize they need you to win.
Michael Dertuzos, our center, being around the block. Some of these guys already know they need him to win, and Michael's obviously a center in our program. He waited until his senior year to have a chance to start for one of the top programs in the state, and he's doing an excellent job for us. And he plays a thankless position. I used to play center as well, and usually you don't notice the center unless something bad happens. But I can promise you, coaches notice the center if they're not doing their job because nothing works on offense. And it all starts with the snap. So appreciate your time, Michael. Next up, we have Ryan Tachek. He's a safety and wide receiver for us.
When I was in 7th grade, there was probably about 45, 50 kids on the team, and now we have about 20 to 25 seniors. So the message I give you guys is never quit the game of football. Always stay in the game of football because it can teach you so much you never thought you knew, on the field and off the field. And I mean, that's pretty much it. So.
Ryan is obviously a guy for us who's a captain. All these guys are captains, and he's a very talented guy who can play college football at the next level if he chooses to. But what I love most about him is his unselfish nature. He's one of the best receivers on our team, but if we need him on defense, he plays defense. Everybody wants to touch the ball, guys. Everybody wants receptions. Everyone wants to score touchdowns. Everyone wants to run the ball, get their name in the paper. But to play for Avon and for us to be successful, we need to get people to buy into the team, and Ryan has done that. Give him a big round of applause. Next up, Trevor Norman, linebacker, running back.
My piece of advice would to be just have fun. Don't get too caught up in winning, losing. You guys are still young. Just have fun, play the game. Don't worry about that when you get to the varsity level, and just have fun with your friends. You know what I mean? Because like this is where I met most of my friends. I just wish I could go back and have the experiences with them again. That's the one thing I'll miss.
A little bit about Trevor. If you guys know Trevor, he plays linebacker. He's been playing for us as a sophomore all over special teams, and he's been a starter at linebacker. And he's the guy that you always notice because he's a hitter, right? He flies around, plays with reckless abandon. What are the 4 things you need to do to play football at Avon? What's number 1? Hit. This guy exemplifies hitting. He's a hitter, and we're going to need him to fly around and hit this quarterback tonight. So thank you, Trevor. Appreciate you. Conwell, wide receiver and corner.
My piece of advice would definitely just be to stick it out, because when I was in middle school, I did not have the best 2 years in 7th and 8th grade, and I just didn't really want to play that much, and then I just had to stick it out. Once you get in the weight room, everything changes. Take it seriously, and then you'll do something special if you guys all just stick together. So, that's all I got.
So for you guys in the group, has you ever heard anybody say to somebody, hey, you're too small to play football? Anybody ever hear that saying? Like, hey, you're too small to play football? Or I think I'm too small to play football? It doesn't exist. Timmy Conwell obviously is a wide receiver, and last year he started the year for us as a JV football player because he was behind Cam Erskine and Michael Matlack and guys that actually were returning starters. And all he did was go out and play JV football and dominated. He dominated. He stood out. You can never get screwed over when it comes to playing time when you get to us, because if you're good enough, we're going to notice you because you're going to jump off the page somewhere. And he did that in JV football, and by the end of the year, he was our main target and helped us get to a Final Four where we took it to the fourth quarter with Akron Hope, and we're trying to get to that state championship. So give him a round of applause, and let's finish that. Next up, we have Jackson Blodgett. He is an outside linebacker.
My piece of advice for all you guys, I know everybody else kind of already said it, but just stick together, stick through it. Because I think when we were in 7th and 8th grade, we had probably like, 50, 60 kids. Half of them are probably gone now, more than half. So I know some of you guys might want to quit, just stick through it, get in the weight room, do what your coaches tell you to. And, they pave the way for you guys, so you guys will be able to do good things. Yeah, that's it.
So Jackson, he talks about the weight room, and all of you guys are now in 7th grade, so you're not really in the weight room yet the way you'll need to be, but he made himself into the player he is today. He's been a 2-year starter for us. Again, we're one of the best teams in the entire state of Ohio, and he's been a 2-year starter, not because he was born with great size or great athletic ability. Is he a good athlete? Absolutely, but he's made himself into a great player through hard work and dedication in the weight room, so give it up for Jackson Blodgett. And last but not least, we have Colin Kaufman. Colin is a wide receiver when his hand's not broke, but he's also a corner who will be chasing around some of their best receivers tonight. Colin.
My piece of advice would just be embrace your role, because in middle school you don't really know what you're gonna size out to be, if you're gonna be a big guy or a little guy. So just do what the coaches say, and once you start growing, they'll pick where they need you to be. You'll figure it out, and just stick with the program, because honestly, a lot of your friends, people you're close to, will quit and say oh, you should quit too. It's too much work. You never get to have summers off. But it's just not worth it. It's so much more worth it being with your buddies that stayed with the program and just grinding it out.
I appreciate Colin saying that, because the truth is, what we ask of our football players is a lot. We ask them to do a lot. They get up in the summer and get in there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they work out. In the off season, there's 6 a.m. workouts. No one sees the hard work that goes into having a chance to play a playoff game tonight. The teams that don't do all that hard work aren't playing anymore. And if it wasn't for guys like him who take the path of most resistance and work hard, we wouldn't be in this situation. And this guy is exceptionally talented. He finished 4th in the state in the 100-meter dash, all right, as a sprinter. So he's got elite speed, and he can play football at the next level if that's what he chooses to do, or if he goes on to run track in college. But I will tell you this, it didn't happen naturally. He was blessed with speed, yes, but he worked really hard in the weight room. And if you think there's anybody like any Olympic sprinter that doesn't work out and train their legs and lift hard, it doesn't exist. So big round of applause for him. Hey, I'll give you guys a little summary and a capsule of the game you get to watch tonight from the end zone. Number one, we need your enthusiasm and energy. Our players feed off of that, so be engaged in the game. Number two, the team we're getting ready to play, Fremont Ross, has a tremendous quarterback. He's like a Kyler Murray type guy. You guys will have fun watching him. He's number one. We know what we're up against. He's thrown for 2,400 yards. He's rushed for 1,000 yards. He's an outstanding player. They have a defensive lineman who's 6'7", 290 pounds. He's a heavyweight wrestler. He's committed to the University of Cincinnati. So there's some great players on this field tonight. And if it was individual battles, eyes here please, if it was individual battles, we might not win. But it's a team game. This is the ultimate team game. And they've bought into the team concept in that locker room. And I love our team for that. Our coaches do a great job. Our players do a great job. My challenge to all of you is to A, have fun tonight, eat pizza, make sure you're respectful, make sure you tell these coaches thank you for all they did for you throughout the season, and obviously, be respectful, clean your stuff up, and throw everything away. But moving forward, you're going into winter sports and then spring sports. Good luck to you. I want you to compete in multiple sports. I want you to have fun. But if an adult in your life tries to tell you, hey, don't play football, focus on one thing, that adult doesn't much care about you. You are only going to get high school one time. You're not there yet, but you make sure that next year all of you are back playing 8th grade football. All of you are back, and you're going to grab some friends and tell them the journey is worth it. This process is worth it. There's some suck in football. There's some things that suck about football that are not fun, especially in practice, especially in the heat of the summer. When the coaches are getting on you, there's some suck in it. But I'm telling you, it makes you a better human being. And I love our programs, and I know there's a lot of talent in this class. And personally, I can't wait to coach you guys someday. So congratulations and good luck, guys. Thank you.